There we go. Had it on loop.
Thought we were going to travel the world again.
We're going to travel the world again. Hello, everybody.
My arms are sore.
All that flapping.
How are you guys tonight?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited for tonight. We got a new project in store.
And what kind of pace are we going to be traveling at?
I just caught that. Oh wow, that almost went over my head. I almost lost
I missed
that.
it.
You missed it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed it.
Took me a second. I was like, "What? We're gonna go?" And I said it in my head, and I was like, "Nah."
I can't help the mum jokes. It's built in at this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, should we tell him? Or should we make him guess?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell
Make
him?
me
Tessa?
guess. I think we
you-
tell him. I already know.
So tonight we are going to be doing snails, but we're going to do it like the game Worms.
Kamikaze. Okay.
Yeah, we were all hanging out last night, and we had this idea to make a Worms board game, but with snails, and then all their shells would be their weapons and stuff. So we thought that would be fun, and we're gonna pursue that tonight and play with some concepts and ideas. We're gonna brainstorm it all right in front of you guys. The whole thing.
The whole
In
thing.
one night.
Oh dear.
So anything you guys want to add?
No, I'm good. Let's go.
Let's go. So what are you guys thinking for snails?
Well, we need a shell of some sort, right? What am I doing here?
What are you
There we
thinking
go.
for inspiration? What are you thinking for style? What are you thinking for, and why?
Well, it's got to be sort of a simplistic, cartoony style, right? Because of the gameplay element makes it more fun than if it's a, slimy, bumpy, realistic snail. If we did a French snail, would it be carnivorous? Would it be like, not like, what's the word? Not carnivorous.
You're looking for the word for a French snail?
No, yeah, escargot, but no, like, would it eat other snails?
Oh, cannibal?
Would a French snail actually be like Hannibal? Cannibal.
Cannibal Lecter, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's think. How would we play the game? Would we build up a level? Like, would we draw level pieces and add them to the board?
So are you guys thinking like board game, or are you guys thinking more like tank?
I'm thinking board game, like Jenga, because we want to destroy it, don't we?
So like Angry Birds, where you launch a snail,
or the
launch
snail
stuff
launches
off of the snail.
Yeah, because
off the snail.
I was telling Ryan, I was like, It'd be neat if they had like a little catapult made up of their shell, right? Like right through the center of the shell. If there was like the catapult piece, so you could push down and fire.
Oh,
A last snail standing kind of thing. King of the
Right.
hill.
And then each team could build like a Jenga type castle pieces, right?
right.
And then they have their snails on. So the first one to either, I don't know, knock over all this. Well, that's the other thing too, is the snails would have to be able to be knocked over, and they wouldn't be because of the way they're designed. So maybe flags on the bricks or the blocks that have to be knocked over.
Well, what I'm thinking for blocks. Let's see. Is we do hexagon blocks and stack them up. Or some kind of block and stack them up. Maybe hexagons would be so great.
Hexagons are fine. You just have to offset them. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Like a beehive.
Yeah. And you can have a half
What if-
block for the bottom.
Or what if they were all half blocks and you could
Yeah, that works.
so then you could stack them like this, and then you could stack them maybe get crazy like this.
Hey, Vicky, welcome. Thank you
Hello.
very much.
Hello.
We're trying to work out how to make a game that's about snails, a bit like the old Worms, like World Party sort of stuff, but as a 3D printing board game or table game of some sort. Yeah, snails.
Because you could also do too, like if you're each on one side or whatever, right? And then you had some kind of grid system in the middle of the two walls, and you could roll to move the snails forward. But if the snail gets hit, then that snail has to go back to the wall. So your object is to try and kind of get closer to the wall to get a better shot, right? Because like depending on how heavy these pieces are and how heavy certain things are, right? You might not be able to like knock stuff over or stuff out.
Well, I think they should be removed Jenga style once they're
Hit.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, that'd be great.
That would be great. Well, I think the half hexagon pieces work.
I like it because you could like bevel them off too, right? So they have like more of a because like you got to remember when it comes to Jenga, the thing that really worked out for Jenga was the fact that the pieces were not perfect because the after they were first manufactured, they were perfectly smooth and sanded pieces, and it was hard to push the pieces out because there was no imperfections. So then they went and tumbled all of those pieces, and because of the imperfections, it allowed you to push pieces through the center, pull them off the side, right?
Right.
So maybe if we did those hexagonal pieces, but like put a bump map on them so that they're like bumpy, so they have the overall shape, but they're bumpy in an imperfect way, so that even when they stack, they'd still be kind of like not wobbly, but like looser than if they were perfectly stacked like that. Maybe.
Well, what we could do too is we can oh boy, what did I just do?
Because also depending on if you play like on a like I have a hardwood table, right? Those pieces would slide, right?
Yeah.
Versus like the kids playing on the carpet, right? I don't have
Well, what
carpet.
we could do too is we could do your crease.
Because if we did like 2 or 3 shapes, just pushing it out there, then it'd be fun to see the variations people could have in their castle. Right? Like everybody has 3 of this type and then 5 of this one. Interesting tidbit about Jenga. I didn't know. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Fun Facts. Like I have weird, odd facts about.
I just thought that it was like an intrinsic part of the manufacturing process. Not that it was done on purpose, but that woodworking is a little bit imperfect without a lot of care, right?
Yeah, no, these ones had like they were going through like planes. They were like perfectly cut, sanded, perfect.
Yeah.
But because they were perfect, they wouldn't. They
Yeah,
wouldn't.
it makes a lot of sense.
But I mean, if you look at all the Jenga pieces, they do look pretty. They're fine. They're not like super like distorted, but there's
No,
just
they're
enough.
uniform.
Like they
Mm.
found that perfect medium to make them slippy slidey too.
So we could texture them with like flowers and stuff.
Oh, I was thinking more like blasting it with a clay buildup, spatter alpha, spatter brush. But I mean, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, a whole bunch of like.
Then we could do themed pieces. Like some are brick, some are wood.
Right, and then you get like snow, and then you get like desert.
So something like
Volcano.
that.
Yeah, so like the little intricate designs on them would be they would give
That little bit imperfection. And then the higher you build it, the more
wobbly
unstable.
would get.
Yeah.
100%. But then we come to a situation though. It's like, are they firing over the wall or in front of it? Because if you're firing in front of it, you risk knocking over your own wall.
Yeah. It would be a calculated move. Because I remember when I used to play play worms. Sometimes blowing up the ground underneath you was a better idea than going after.
Oh yeah, sending yourself skyrocketing across the screen. That was the best ever. I was telling Ryan earlier,
like
I mastered the ninja
getting
rope.
real close to someone on the edge of a cliff and just poking them off.
Yeah.
I think it was prod. Right. Yeah.
I love their jump. Hup. Like it was just like. I like those blocks though.
Could I take it a step further? Let's see.
There we go.
I don't know if that might be too crazy. I don't know if that would work. Although that might.
Because like I said, right? If you have like 3 different types of blocks to pick from, right? Then you extend the building properties, right? But then again,
Like a
like we're trying.
Tetris type of thing.
Yeah, like, but what's the end game? Are we trying to knock flags over? Are we trying to destroy the?
Last worm standing. Last snail standing.
Right. So
Kill
all the snails.
everybody else.
So all this, but where are the snails firing from?
Themselves.
Like, are they going to be on the blocks? How do you eliminate a snail? He falls off the block that he's on.
Yep, it's the table.
All right,
Okay.
but
But if the blocks are wobbly, how are you going to fire your
Yeah,
snail?
exactly.
Very carefully.
So what I was thinking would be,
What if you had a king snail who sat on the wall,
right?
and then you
Yeah,
had an army of snails that you would launch at the opponent's wall?
because I like the interactive. Like I know for a fact, like my kids would love the fact that the tearing down the blocks on the other side, and then knocking down. What do snails have as counterparts? Like if we had snails as like let's say for instance, like if we had snails as soldiers, and then maybe like a queen snail that was
Well,
like
snails,
sitting in her shell. So her shell's
yeah.
more like her throne, or a king is sitting in his throne. Those are the shells, right? Their thrones is their shell. Because I mean, really, let's be honest, the king and queen snail would never move anywhere, right? So they could just sit in their throne, and that would be those ones we have to knock over. So you could build blocks, and you could basically build a box and put them in the box, right? To try and get them knocked over. And then the rule would be that the snails would have to be at least 2 blocks high off the ground so that it gives you the fall over, right? Because if you put them on the first set of blocks, you're not going to be able to knock them over easily. But I like the idea of a king and queen snail, like Tess said, like a royal snail. That's the one you have to knock over. And while the other ones you can position however you want around your castle, right? To fire the other ones. So it's like a king of the castle. Well, not really king of the castle, but like more like an invader castle thing, right?
Yeah, then it becomes more of a tower defense than it does worms.
I mean, snails, they have their own tower, right?
Unless we took away the actual physical action and made it a dice roll. Like you can put stuff on your snail.
Up to a certain amount of points. So like you could tell them like a cannon is each snail has 10 points. A cannon is 7 points, and then a walnut that you can throw or launch is 3 points, right? Or somebody could just decide to
Points
have
for
3.
what?
What?
Points for what? Health points?
No, points to points to make your individual slug. So each slug's up to 10 points, and then you'd have like an array of weaponry that have points in them. Because if it's roll based, right? Then you're giving them a variety of dice to roll for damage, right?
Oh, it's going to get complicated real fast. This is
Yeah.
like,
Right.
what if you roll your dice and then you can choose to either move or place a block or shoot?
Because it could still be a tower defense game. It could still be a tower defense game, right? With the ability for the snails to move closer. So snails would have to be a certain closest, and like I was saying earlier. But if you hit one of the snails with with your ammunition, that snail moves all the way back to the starting line. And maybe depending on how big you want your snails or whatever, each snail moves up to 3 spaces at a time. Because on the spaces you could get like bonuses. So that would have people want to move. Like, so let's say one of the snails moves up 3 tiles, it's a bonus tile, and he flips a tile over, he gets 3 extra blocks for his castle.
Yeah, but are we still worms then?
In a way, because you could pick up crates. And then we could do something like if 2 worms or if 2 snails are side by side or face to face, right? Then it could be a head to head battle. like each snail moves to the side. Those two snails, you take them to the side of the gameplay, and you have to catapult or launch your thing until one hits the other first. Kind of like war, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, war. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then the winner goes back to the square that they were on, and the other slug goes back to the beginning. Because it would give you the board game mechanics that you want, right? And then it would also give you the ability to, like, once you're close enough, then you can launch your catapult. I keep saying catapult, but you guys know what I mean. You launch your whatever at the wall to try and take it down a bit. And any block that falls off and hits the thing can go into a bonus area, right? So that you can pick up random bonuses throughout the board. Or I don't know, maybe cards or something. Or like tokens that you can pick from in a bag. Every turn you get to pick a token out. So you could pick up an extra block or an extra 3 blocks, or target snail moves back 3 spaces. Target snail moves back 1 space. You have to do a dance. If you don't do a dance, all your snails move back. Right? Stuff like that, right? Something like interactive like that. And I'm the one talking the most, and I didn't even have a snail on the board. You guys are like halfway done. What's going on here?
done.
Why you got? I see how it is. Distracting Matt.
I think that gets really complicated really quickly.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It wouldn't have to be. So if you have tokens with arrows on it, right, or a token with a number, and then an arrow, that means move, like target snail moves back. And then if you have a token with a block on it, then you get extra blocks. Or you can have target player have to remove a block from their wall. So if you have it like Jenga, then they can actually have to push one of the blocks out. Say, I want that block. You have to move that block, which would probably only be like one of those tokens somewhere in the thing, because you could technically win the whole game that way. I'm gonna rewatch this video and watch how each one of us made a snail, and not one of us did it the same way.
What happened here? Split. There we go. Yeah, I think game mechanics is going to take us the longest time to work out. Close holes. No. What happened?
Well, as a game developer myself, that is incredibly complicated really quickly. We want it to be able to be picked up and played immediately, because it's not going to be incredibly common for everybody to know how to play.
Yeah.
But if we did something like, okay, so what if your snail, you could replace the shell? So we do something like this. And you put your shell on your snail.
And you knock the shell off.
Well, depending on what depending on what the shell is. So, like, if it is a catapult, or if it is a rocket launcher, or if it is ninja stars or something, like a belt with ninja stars on it or something, or swords, or something along those lines, there'd be a number on the bottom of the shell that says how many, what's the distance, what's the range. And then as you play, then it is just Jenga, and you have to push pieces out. But you can only go that far from your snail. We kind of lose the physicality of launching stuff. That might not be the worst thing.
No, that was the best part. The idea of printing a little catapult or whatever. Because eventually you could just get into like little spring-loaded ones, right? Like spring-loaded fun.
I don't know, Tessa's pretty quiet over there.
Yeah, I messed up my snail somehow and was fixing geometry in a ridiculous way. Okay. At the edge. Yes.
There we go. And done.
You're done. You're supposed to be moving at a snail's pace, Ryan.
What's a snail's pace?
Not turbo. A normal snail.
Snail that crossed his DNA with nitrous oxide. No, just the concept. Okay, so Matt, look at this. So we go with a dice, and we give each shell a number. And then we have to count spaces. So, like, this flat spot would be a space. You guys can all see my cursor, right?
Yeah.
Here, let's do this. That everybody can see. So this flat spot would be a spacer, or a space. This flat spot would be a space. This flat spot would be a space. This flat spot would be a space. And then this one. So those two snails, even though they seem close, would be 5 spaces apart.
Count again? What? Are you counting the block they're on?
Yep. 1, 2,
Okay,
3, 4, 5.
gotcha.
So basically, if you rolled a 1, it'd be a miss because it wouldn't go anywhere. Thank you. Rest well.
Good night, Vicky.
Good night.
Oh, yeah, and then what do you think, Matt? Tessa?
So how do you eliminate the other? I almost said squirrel. How do you eliminate the other snail?
We're doing squirrels next.
Yeah.
Hey, Leonard.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, it's Leonard. Hey, Mike. Welcome, welcome.
You have to eliminate the block pieces that the snail is on until the snail is on the ground. Or in the water, technically. Right?
How do you do it?
Yeah, it doesn't really build as well as Jenga does it? Well, I guess the question would be, how do you get the level?
How do you get the level?
Yeah, how do you get your playing field? How do you get your playing field? Like, how do we set it up? Is it pre-set up? Do we set it up before the game starts? Do we set it up as part of the gameplay? Don't worry, Vicky. It's recorded. You can always come back. And watch us struggle.
Oh, Mike's got his hands on his hips. He means business.
Since my screen's not moving, let's look at Tessa's snail here.
If we do this, what we? Oh, yeah, okay. How do we? I broke it. How do you select? Oh,
If you hover over one of the screens, there are 3 dots. Then you can click those dots and click solo layout.
I don't get the dots.
I'll show you after the stream.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
The purple
I'm not
guy.
really sure what I'm doing with this now. Little purple guy. Yeah. Let's see. We have a helix. Oh no, but not that kind of helix.
Well, what do you guys think? How do we get the level? Matt, does he have an army helmet for a shell?
Yes, he does.
Nice. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just messing with sliders at the moment.
We are making it up as we go. We know exactly what we're doing.
Where did the... Oh, there we go. No. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Because I sure as heck ain't. There. Well, at least that's what I envisioned at the start of it.
I found the dots.
You found the dots.
I found the dots. Okay.
Let's take a vote. Do we build the level as we play or before we play? Don't everybody speak at once.
What? Brain is split. What do you mean?
How do we get the board game we're playing on?
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense to build the wall first and then place your snails and then start the game, right?
Does it?
I don't know. I was thinking for ease of use, maybe. What am I doing? Move. There we go.
Thank you, Leonard.
We all stop. We're like, what? What's happening?
So everyone comes in, is like, we're doing nothing. Oh no.
I'm not sculpting. I'm playing.
Hey, welcome everybody. We are making snails
Hello,
today
hello.
and hoping to make it into a 3D printable game.
So we're trying
Right?
anyway.
Yeah. Sculptors from down under, that's right. I'm outnumbered though. The northern hemispheres have me.
So right now we are talking about building a Worms style board game with snails.
More slime. Yes, yes.
So if it was a dice-based game, the dice roll could be number of moves, whether that be position moves or block places or block removals.
Good question. All right. That doesn't sound right. More slime. Let's go. All right. I have a shell of some sort. I'll be right back. I have to get a new coffee.
Okie doke. What do you think, Matt?
I'm down. Actually, we could still make it a dice roll game where there's 2 dice, one to roll for how many moves you move, and then once you get close to the other character, you both roll together like a war,
I like that.
right? So you roll and I roll, and if whoever rolls the higher number gets to beat that snail.
And now I'm imagining that if these 2 snails were to snail off,
But the rocket could have an 8-sided dice, and the bat could be like, I don't
well,
know.
what if it's just attack range? So if the snail has just a bat, then he can only attack one space at a time, right?
Right, but
Let's
he
say the
can
rocket
move.
could do 5.
Right, but he can move faster.
Well, potentially, yeah. But I was thinking that even if they were to go and face off, right?
Mm.
Then if I were to think of this as almost an animation, then he could bat away that rocket.
So he can roll
Assault.
for. Well, you can roll
Assault
for the.
bomb.
Oh yes, definitely. Those will be fun. I'm gonna start making the weapons. The weapons will be fun to make too. But like, I like that idea. So like the bat. So like, you would have to roll a certain number to beat the rocket. Good, Brett. How was your stream?
We're good. We are debating all the possibilities at the moment. Absolutely. See you soon.
Okay, I am back. What did I miss?
Back.
Thank you.
I think Britt just
we
took
are-
off. I think she just had to
Oh,
go.
bye, Britt. Thanks for raiding. Do, 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 do.
Well, I need to make a better baseball bat or it's going to upset me.
I don't know where I put my stylus and I can't continue without it.
So buy the coffee.
It probably is. Found it. It was by the coffee. Thank you, Matt.
Welcome. That's where mine is.
Well, I don't know. I have a snail. What am I doing with this snail?
Well, we were just talking about
Mm.
how we were going to play. So we were talking about a war style roll off.
Okay.
So I was just pitching to Matt that the weapons would just be simply range of how far they can attack.
Right.
So I've got an example on my screen. We have a baseball bat and we have a rocket, and the rocket can shoot the baseball bat, but the baseball bat can't hit the rocket. But if the rocket shoots at the baseball bat, then the baseball bat player can defend themselves and smack the rocket away, depending on the roll.
Are we going to make the weapons changeable, or are you stuck with whatever snail you first put out?
Good question. Because actually, in worms, you can have multiple worms, can't you?
Weapons.
That's right. Weapons, yeah.
No, you could. So you can play multiple worms.
Yeah, you
You
have
get
a whole
team
team,
worms.
right?
Yeah. Salt shaker can make the tiles.
You
toxic.
can't. Yeah, you can't move on that tile.
Good idea, Leonard.
You could literally do like an upset salt shaker with a little pool, and it could just sit there on the tile.
So did you guys make better snails than I did?
Well, I'm thinking. I'm looking at it. All right. So I have a lovely snail, but when we look at it as a game, the little token type snails are a better option, I think. So maybe we have game snails and we have collector snails. I don't know. Because if we want the weapons to be able to be printed separate and interchangeable, then a standard snail would make sense. Right?
Yes.
I don't know what I'm doing here. Being ridiculous.
There, more color. Well, if Matt's making a helmet as a shell, how do we work that into a game?
It's just a type
Could
of
it
shell.
be a defensive roll of +1? Because if we made the shells swappable rather than just what's on them, because then they could have jetpack shells. And do you have an airplane shell, Tessa?
I have an aeroplane going on, yeah.
Move anywhere on the board.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's going in the next Fireside trailer.
What happened? Meow.
You zoom around with your space mouse.
Oh, did I do that? I wasn't
Yeah,
even
you
paying
did.
attention. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how we do all of our animations here.
Where's my... There we go.
Seriously, are you making an airplane? Is that what's happening?
That's what's happening. That's where it went.
Okay, so we have an airplane shell. We have a helmet shell. And I've got a bunch of nonsense on my screen, so I should probably make something, huh?
Yeah.
So, okay, are all our snails have the googly eyes? Is that what we're giving them? Or is it antennas with eyes? Which one are we doing?
I think we should just free flow that one. See whose design is the most appealing. And then we'll go with that. Or maybe we just have multiple versions of snails.
Or it could be those types of snails. So it could be the googly eyes versus the regular eyes, you know.
There's nothing stopping us from doing separate sets either. Like we could do one that's all about space.
Oh, they're on an asteroid belt. So like,
is this a sculpt off? No, not really. We're brainstorming ideas for a new game called Snails. That's going to be 3D printable and playable in real life, but with worms. Like worms, but with snails. If I can get my words all the right way around, that'd be awesome.
right. And series 2 will be squirrels, because I keep saying that.
Squirrels.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Snails.
All right, so I got this like biplane going on, and I'm thinking about the movie Up. So now I gotta have another snail that has a bunch of balloons.
So Tessa's doing all of our movement pieces. Matt's doing all of our defensive pieces. And I'm working on the board. Well, okay. If we do a 6-sided die, which is pretty, it's common.
Mm.
You roll your die to see how many moves you get. And you can use them however you wish. You can move your snail on the board. You can attack with whatever remaining points you have left. Count you have left. So if you roll a 6, you can move 2. Then you have 4 left. So you can move 2 and attack 4. Or you can use one of your moves to add a piece to the board. That's what I'm thinking so far. So you can't put a piece on your snail. But you can add a piece to any part of the board.
How small is this polysphere? Where are you? There it is. Okay. Oh, Leonard's talking about food. Don't do that. I'm hungry.
We can definitely add a frying pan.
Yes. Yes, we need a frying pan. Frying pans. Who knew?
So what if to start the game, we each get to start with 6 level pieces?
Six level pieces?
Yeah, that way if we're using a 6-sided die. I couldn't do it, Leonard.
Did it work though?
Did it impress her? So Tessa, you're doing the eyes on the head rather than on the antenna?
Yeah, I
Or
am.
because they have no foreheads, their goggles go down on their face
Yeah.
and they pull them up onto their eyes? Although they have no hands, how would they? Or are we
How does
doing
any of
snails
this
with
work?
hands?
Snails with hands, like Raymond, and then
Oh.
you have to make sure they're touching the body.
Worms have hands.
Only when but only when they're using a weapon. Every other time they don't have anything.
Well, so far, did those rules make sense? I think so. Maybe not. Yes. Like them? Don't like them? Doesn't feel right? Too complicated? Too simple? Give me some
No,
feedback.
no.
Ask the chat. Quick, put a poll out.
Can I put a poll?
I don't know.
I don't think I can do that in here.
Am I not in symmetry? Oops. There we go.
All right. If we don't start pitching more ideas, I'm going to start sculpting.
You haven't been sculpting?
Not yet.
Just give him more ideas.
Okay.
I think Tessa has like 100% the best snail.
Oh, thanks. I just have an idea. No. That's all I'm going to do for the rest of the 15 minutes. Woo. Yep, so I think what I'm going to do, because this is just the rough idea, is I think I'm going to get some up reference, because I really like, you know, his hat, the little boy's hat, and the flying goggles that he used to wear at the beginning of the movie. And get something a bit more, feeling a bit more like that. And then refine this plane shape, and I think that'll be really cool. And then, yeah, another one with balloons. I could go Rocket Man, get a jetpack going.
You gotta give him a piano.
A piano?
Yeah, if you're gonna make him a rocket man, he's gotta have a piano. Elton John.
It's gone
Or at
straight
least-
over my head.
or star glasses. Elton John saying Rocket Man.
Okay. My head went to Bon Jovi, so like I got completely lost. Oh yeah, what's your snail look like? Let's look at yours, Matt. Oh, look at he's ready to go. Look at that expression.
There we go. Bring his face back in.
All right. Now I feel behind. Now I got to do an actual snail. Here we go.
You have snails already. What are you talking about?
These are placeholders.
All right, awesome. Let's put
I would hope you guys know them better than that. Those were kind of terrible.
It's a small screen. I couldn't see anything. Fit for purpose. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, Control F. Yes. Plane. I'm just organizing my folders. Accessories.
So I don't. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Where's my other folders? Fine, do it manually. Plane. Okay. I think if I taper this way, almost. Not quite. It's a terrible balloon. Why is it not doing the thing I want it to do?
It's not ballooning.
It's not ballooning. Okay. How very dare it. Where did this save? Pop it out here. What? All right, we've all stopped talking. Oh no.
I started sculpting.
My, what big eyes you have. What am I trying to do here? Let's try this. It's a lot of balloons. Okay.
I did watch Fallout, Leonard.
I only got
I found it
to.
interesting.
I only got into a few episodes of it for now. So I've never actually played the games.
You've never played Fallout?
I've never played Fallout, and the funny thing is my son has it downstairs in his room. So if I wanted to, I could.
You will disappear for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Can't do that.
Did you watch it, Leonard? What did you think?
The show that I'm excited for that's coming out soon is the Borderlands one. Seems like that's going to be the new. That's my guess. Is the new if Borderlands and Fallout do really well, you can expect a lot more game adaptation movies. I would say it'll be the next, comic book thing, right? Because we had like all the superhero movies. Let's be honest, those are fading fast. In terms of like, except for Deadpool. I saw the new Deadpool trailer and I'm like super stoked for that. My wife does the same thing, Leonard. She was like that for Breaking Bad. She watched like the first episode. She was like, I don't know. I was like, just stick with it. Stick with it. And then by the third episode, she was sold.
Yeah, I have a 3-episode rule. We have to give it at least 3 episodes.
All right. I got this pile of balloons somehow. That's pretty cool.
You're tearing it up tonight, Tess. I'm like, hey, I got 1 snail done. And Ryan's like, I got a whole board piece done. And you're like, I've got 2 snails, 3 snails done.
Oh, good. I'm thinking about the straps. I think I have an idea for it. This is going to be so much fun, like all the different snails we're going to make.
Mm.
I think with this one with the balloon, the hardest part will be I want it to have some dynamicness, but I also need it to balance on the board, right? Don't tip over. It has to be pretty up and down.
That's going to be a factor, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so I got an idea for the ropes.
Actually, I think I'm just going to steal what I started.
Okay. Oh, I think I have to. Oops. Should have done this before I adjusted the angle. Delete. And then nope. Okay. Come on now. You can do it. All right.
All right. There's my snail.
Has he got a cheesy grin? Nice. All right, 2 seconds and I'll get off this cone.
Let's check out Matt's snail there.
Oh, that's what was going on. I was like, why is stuff moving so weird for me?
He looks like a hefty guy.
Well, yeah, he's defensive, right?
I like that grin, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did both of you go with the eyes and the face? Am I the only one with that went with antenna eyeballs?
Looks like it.
All right. I have a snail, I have balloons, I have ropes. Yeah, sort of.
Let's pull it up.
Alrighty, there we go. All right, cool. So we all
right.
have a snail, right?
I believe so.
Different shells, yeah. Oh, are you doing like a toxic waste barrel there, Matt?
I was just gonna do like a regular can,
Oh, okay.
but
I thought he might be radioactive. All right, guys. So I think it's time we head over to a Discord. And today we're going to my
Agreed.
Discord. That's SparkyFace5. Do you have a link, Ryan? You can put in the chat for me.
Yes.
So what we usually do after stream, guys, is we invite all you guys who are watching to come join us over in Discord in the chat room. We have a fireside chat. and we continue these models over there and have a good time. So come join us, get to know us a bit better. Love to see you there. Ryan's about to put the link in the chat for you all.
Working on it.
Please hold. Do, 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 do.
Just double check and make sure that's the right link.
Yep, wouldn't want to send you somewhere crazy. More crazy. Do, do, do. Let's see. That's...
Yep. There we go.
Cool beans. All right, did you guys have fun?
It was definitely a more interesting stream, I think.
It was. I had a blast.
Awesome.
All right, guys, well, come hang out with us in Discord, and we'll see you guys over there.
All right, see you there. Bye.
Have a good night, everybody.